Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Horse Center. Tonight, our special guest is Trevor McCarthy, soon to be joined by Katie McCarthy. And, of course, we have Shawn, as always. Trevor, how's it like to be a new dad? Tell us about the new lifestyle.
Yeah, it's great. It's a little different, but we're settling in pretty well with it. We have great family support. Everybody's kind of helping us out, and we love it. We love it. Riley, she's great. She's a good baby. She sleeps well. She eats well. So we're just enjoying every second.
Is she a daddy's girl already?
Oh yeah, she's stolen my heart, man. She's got my heart.
So, there's nothing that they ask for that you won't do, right?
Oh no, if she says jump off a bridge, I'll do it.
Head first.
Yeah.
Without a crash helmet, right? Exactly. Boys are a lot different. You'd be like, what? Jump off a bridge? Are you crazy? I'm going to throw you off the bridge. And then we just threw Trevor off the show. There he is. You kind of
always funny, too.
A second there.
It's always funny, too. Guys always want a little boys. And Trevor really did want a little boy,
Katie,
too.
How are you? And we're joined by Katie. Katie, how are you this evening?
Good. How are you guys?
We're doing good, thanks. Hey, look, say hi to Riley. The TV debut. Riley McCarthy.
There you go. Here.
Indeed.
Wait, there it is.
There it is. Oh, big yawn.
Oh, somebody's so tired, ready to go to sleep. Like, what are you doing putting me on TV? You know, in about 20 years when she sees this, she's going to be just furious with both of you.
Yeah, exactly.
There's plenty of people out there right now going, don't you want another one now?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, what do they say? Two is the millionaire's family, right? A boy and a girl. That's what they call that, the millionaire family. So we want the millionaire and the family. They both go hand in hand, right, Shawn?
Yeah.
So you're back in New York now, Trevor, and you're tearing up the New York circuits, or is it going to be home again, or are you thinking about going out west again?
Yeah, no, out west was a little bit of an experiment, and it just didn't work out. And, it was a great experience, and, I met some really great people, and, I got to work with the.
He went out.
Mm-hmm.
And, but I really got to meet some really nice people and just see a different atmosphere of racing, really. But, I think I kind of found out, that this is kind of maybe can be home for me. We have a lot of family here, my side and Katie's side as well in New York State. So it works out really good for us. And we've just been lucky here. I have really good support by a lot of trainers and owners. And, I have an agent right now who's doing a great job for me, Joe Migliori. And it just seems like everything has really clicked almost too good sometimes, But, I'm very blessed to be where I'm at. And, smoothly, everything's going good. The baby's healthy. I'm healthy. And my wife's happy, and happy and healthy. So, everything's just really great.
How much did
thumbs up there? Go ahead, Shawn. Sorry.
How much did it help you riding in California and then coming back to New York? How much did you learn, and how much do you think that has helped your success coming back with a vengeance, basically?
Yeah, I think as a riding thing, I didn't. It was a very different, very different style out there of riding, and I think it just made me realize, of what kind of rider I am, and speed is just so deadly out there, and guys are just probably some guys overly aggressive, and that just wasn't me. I kind of am one guy that likes to listen to my horses and let them get themselves together and make a good run, and that doesn't seem to really work. And it's just the whole mentality out there is just speed, so everybody's got the same idea. It's a 10-horse field and everybody wants to go to the lead, so I just I think it made me a better rider as realizing where I wanted to be and where I wanted to kind of plant my seed, and Look, I learned a lot of things out there, and different guys like Mike Smith, and and I learned maybe off the racetrack kind of deals, and working hard in the morning, and I've kind of brought that back here to New York with me, and it seems to be really benefiting me at the moment.
But you had a big Saturday, right? 4 wins. Was that Saturday?
Sunday.
Yes. I'm all confused. I'm old. Just forgive me. Hitting the head too many times growing up. Go ahead. So Sunday, tell us about Sunday.
Sunday was great. It was funny because we canceled Saturday, and we were bummed about that because I was on some really good mounts on Saturday as well. And so I'm talking to Joe the morning of, and he says, "You're going to win 6 on Sunday." I said, 6? You think I'm going to win 6 today? He says, "Yeah, we got a shot to win 6. I said, "I think we got a good shot to win 3, but I don't know about 6. And so we were laughing, and then we had such a great day of winning 4, and I said, "Well, I guess you were 2 shy, and I was 1 under, and so it was fun. We have a lot of fun together, but it was cool to kind of see him, handicap the races, and I knew we had a lot of great shots too, and they were kind of borderlining whether we were going to cancel again or not because it was super cold. And I was saying to Katie when I left, I said, "Man, it's going to be a cold day, but I sure can have a good day. I hope it's worth my while." And it was. So it was great to win the stake for Robert Tross on a filly. I finished second on last time. He claimed off Danny Gargan. So that was really nice of him to let me ride that filly back, especially on a stake. And then, I won a couple races for Rudy. That was huge. I've been over there working really hard and breezing a lot of horses for him. So that seemed to really pay off. And then we got to win one for Dominic Schettino, another horse I finished third on last time and got to learn a lot from the last race. And, it just seemed like everything set up perfect.
So while you were away, everybody was about a year or so ago when we talked and you and Katie got married, and New York had that entry rule, right? So you guys couldn't ride in the same race. So when you were in New York, when you were out in California, I think it actually made it to the governor's desk and she vetoed it, right? Now I understand it's going to go back to the governor's desk, that the people have done it again. Are they going to name it the Katie and Trevor rule?
Yeah, they should, right? They should give us a commission.
For sure. So what do you think about that? I mean, to me, it seems one of those things that the governor just basically said, "I don't have any idea about horse racing. So because I don't know anything about horse racing, I'm just going to veto it." It's kind of an odd reason to veto, no?
Yeah, I think it was a pretty odd thing to veto it. I mean, look, it was all voted for and for to get changed. I think that was in Congress. There was I forget what the number was. It was 60-something people, and all the parties voted against it, and for them to just veto it and just throw it out after all the work Katie has put in to really try and get the rule changed and all the aggravation we've had to go through, and now for them to bring it back to the commission and now have to go back to the governor, I mean, to me, it's just a bit ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree. Jay Marco agrees with you. That's his words exactly. It's more than a bit ridiculous. It's just stupidly ridiculous because we talked about this before too. Trainers can have 2 horses in the same race, right?
They can have 4 horses in the same
as many
race.
as that. Yeah, I mean, you can have 1A, what is it? 1A, and then what's next? 1X, whatever. I get confused with the letters, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. And another thing too that they brought up a good point during the commission meeting is a lot of these trainers I'll use the Engleharts as an example. Chris is their father, Jeremiah and Jeffrey are his sons. And there's plenty of trainers out there that are passing down their second strings to maybe their sons. And they're not having to be entryed at all. So that to me was just there's another thing to really realize. It's not so much the jockeys, Irad and Jose and this one and that one, and it's well, man, the trainers are doing it, I mean, these guys are, they're giving their weight, if they can't take horses and they don't have room for them, guess what? They're going to their sons for sure, or their daughters or whoever, so to me, I thought that was a little mind blowing.
Yeah, I was kind of disappointed to see that she vetoed that. Sorry, Shawn.
That brings me to my next question. We had Rosina Provnik on the Players Edge podcast, and the amount of people, she said she was done, she's been done, but the amount of people that wanted her to come back. And Katie, is there any plans to still ride, or are you settled in motherhood and done, or that decision's yet to be decided?
It's still up in the air. I mean, it's always in my blood, so it's kind of hard to just sit chilly and, granted, being a mother is awesome and it's a blessing and all that, but, you can't stop doing what you love to. I mean, other people have other opinions and stuff, and, it's not saying that I wouldn't be a mother to my child at all, if it came down to it, but.
I mean, look, she's got a very high passion for the sport. She's got a very high passion for riding, and, just put it this way, it's almost like saying, hey, something that you're super passionate about or super interested in and put all your life into and your whole family's into it. It's almost like saying, hey, you have to give that up, and, you have to just put that aside, and you can never do that again. Or, even have any part to do it again, whether she wants to exercise horses in the morning or even, be around horses or, ever ride again. I think, for her, it's, something that she does see, her doing, but, we're just going to have to weigh our options about it and go about it the right way and do what's best for our daughter and do what's best for Katie as well.
For sure. Well, for certain, if Katie goes to work and lights it up, it's going to be a great example for your daughter, Riley, right? Anything you can, I have a daughter too, and I tell her all the time, and reach for the stars, dear. There's nothing can hold you back. Just go get it, right? If that's what you want to do, don't let anybody tell you otherwise. You put your foot on the gas and you go, right?
No, thank you.
Absolutely, for sure.
I mean, that's exactly what I would tell my daughter, be strong and just keep going, don't let anybody tell you can't do something.
Yeah, that goes for everybody, right? Don't ever let anybody tell you what you can and cannot do. That's the whole thing behind that successful movie franchise, The Matrix, is that you believe, don't let other people control what you believe. You believe what you want to believe and you make it happen. And that's exactly right.
Law of attraction.
Absolutely. Speaking into the universe, and it happens. For some people, not for me. I think the people are out there with the voodoo dolls for me, and I'm just getting getting struck by lightning anyway. So what are your plans now, Trevor, in terms of the rest of this year? What are you going to ride at Belmont, Saratoga?
Yeah, I'd love to stick it out here. Kind of make this home. I know it's a hard circuit come springtime and especially summertime as well, but it's something that I kind of need to do. And, there's been a lot of guys, and some examples I can use are Kendrick and Dylan, and they've kind of waited their turn. And, they get through the summer and they have a really good fall meet and good winter meet. And, they catch some good horses. So, for me, I just want to keep improving, keep learning, just keep, working hard and trying to play all my cards right and just wait for that good horse and just wait for those great opportunities. And hopefully they come, and if they do come, I'm going to be as ready as I can.
You keep winning 4 on Sundays. There's going to be more horses than you know what to do with.
Yeah, I hope so. If we keep banging out 4, we might be in good shape.
Dylan's been unbelievable and really turned it around. What has changed there? Just progressed, get better rides, moved up.
I think Dylan has definitely gained some really good business, and I think that Saratoga meet this year really helped him. But he had an injury last winter and he came back really strong. I think he kind of realized, same thing, like he wanted to take him, as a rider, he wanted to improve himself and take himself to the next level. And he started to make some changes in himself and really push himself to do better. And look, he's doing ecstatic. I'm proud of him, and he's really doing great, and he's a great person, and he deserves all the success he has. So
Got a couple of comments here for you. Blair, I don't know if you guys can see these on the screen or not, but Blair Monroe says, "Hi, Trevor. Miss you, my friend."
Mm-hmm. Blair, great guy. Big fan at Delaware. We love you, Blair. Thanks for shooting us a message.
And then Laura Carson says, "You look lovely, KT."
Thanks.
Hi, Laura.
Miss ya.
And then Jordan Parks or Parkus, I hope I got that right, says, "Do you look at the racing form before you ride to see how the competition will run so you can formulate your strategy?"
Absolutely. I think every jockey does, and we do a lot of, past performance studies. We do a lot of replay studies, and even it's great in the morning too. We get on them. Some of us, we get on them and we work them in the morning so we can kind of tell how they're doing in the morning as well. But absolutely, it's that's one thing I'm probably doing all day long is constantly studying. In between races, if I have breaks, I'm in the program, and I'm trying to figure out
after racing.
Every plan, every possible, even after racing, come home, watch replays from the day, and then watch more replays of tomorrow, tomorrow's horses that I ride, and just kind of, I don't like to study too hard the night before, but I do like to have a good glance of it and figure out where I want to be, and then before the races, really kind of dive in and come up with my plan.
How often, as a bettor, I can't tell you how many times it happens. We study the program, and as soon as those gates open, everything is different than what I saw. How often does that happen in the middle of the race?
That's for every race for you, Shawn.
Yeah. It happens a lot, it happens a lot, but that's where you just kind of have to, you have to take it as it goes. You study other horses a little bit. You kind of figure out which ones you don't want to be stuck behind, which ones you do want to be stuck behind. And then just kind of ride your horse, it's just go with the flow and, figure out really what figure out what your horse wants to do. That's what I kind of do. And you can't go out there every race and say, hey, I'm going to go the lead. I'm going to, like this race, I'm the speed horse. I'm going the lead. And then somebody outbreaks you, you just got to what? Now you're going to just be like, oh, crap.
Yeah.
Who's this guy in front of me? What do I do now? And you just got to kind of come up with plan A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. So.
My
How much
coach,
on
oh, sorry, Shawn, but my football coach, Jay Marco, says study long, study wrong, LOL. So I have a football coach, Frank Lupin. Anyway, he in high school, he would just say to me, Rich, don't think, just do.
Yeah, that's big too. You have to.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's how I kind of lived my life. Don't think, just do. And then the next thing you know, go, what did I do?
Yeah, I mean, I know some jockeys that they like, they'll dissect the program and they'll be watching every single replay and they'll just for days and days and days. And it's like, man, I couldn't do that. I'd be like, I'd be driving myself crazy for 3 days, like, just, thinking about it. That's why to me, I like to just, if it does overnight comes out, yeah, I'll look at it. I'll glance at the PPs real quick and just kind of see, hey, and then maybe catch the trainer a couple mornings later and kind of say, hey, I just peeked at it. It seems like this. I haven't, really dissected it, but, kind of see what they're feeling as well before you kind of come up with your game plan. And that's another thing too. I mean, you can go in the paddock and the trainer can tell you, don't go to the lead, take the horse back to last. And, you can be mind blown and be like, what, like,
you change the whole
and I think some people as gamblers, I've seen some guys write on Twitter, like, what were you doing? You were the speed and, but some guys, they want to kind of change things up sometimes. And that's kind of difficult as a rider too, because, when you firmly believe and, other guys that are gambling firmly believe that, you might be the speed of the race or you might be the best horse in the race and you might have to do something that you don't want to do. It can be frustrating.
I'm sure.
That brings up a good point. I see that all the time on Twitter or Facebook, the jockeys read the PPs, yada, yada, yada. It might be the trainers that they want to start calling names, not the jockeys, because you guys are getting the instructions. So
we're not going to get any trainer guests now, Shawn.
Yeah. Also on Sunday, that last race, I didn't get to look at the form. I wasn't betting. I was strictly watching to see if you were going to win your 4th straight race. Was that the plan from the get-go, just to go straight to the lead? Was that also a confidence thing that you won 3 races before? You knew how the track was playing?
Yeah, well, the track was definitely playing speed on the rail. The rail was really good too. I won one off the pace for Dom Schettino and just tried to stick to the rail as long as I could, and was lucky to get up. But yeah, absolutely. Looking at it, I rode him last time. I finished second on him, going short, and he wasn't a horse that really liked to pass. He likes to lug in, and I think I just went ahead, Bob. I was in a speed duel with Vargas the whole way in the last race, and he's a little difficult to ride. He kind of likes that loose, let him go kind of deal, and like I said, he likes to lay in, and so when I knew I was kind of the speed of the race, I said, great, I'm just gonna let him kick away, let him run his race, and try not to fight him or mess with him too much, and I think that's what kind of won him the race. I don't know if he absolutely wants to go that far. I know they came home pretty slow. It seemed like the track was getting pretty heavy later in the day as well, but hey, he got the job done.
Yeah, as a better, I try to figure it in, but I try to figure out who the hot jockeys are in the day, and I really don't know if that goes into the mind frame or not. But it seems like some days some jockeys just have it a lot more than others jockeys. Like when you're in a zone, you're in a zone.
Definitely. And look, it's a big confidence builder. I mean, when you win 2 on the card, and honestly, after the third one, I won the stake. It was like I'm gonna win the last. I kept telling myself, I know I'm gonna win the last, because I knew the horse. I've been working the horse, and I rode him last time, and so now I kind of got to know him, and it was just, when you have that confidence and you have that flow, it makes a lot of things easier.
Plus, you got to strike while the iron's hot because you got a big college bill coming due.
Yeah, exactly.
Down the line. So we've had a lot of conversation lately about conversation on the track. Joseph Snyder wants to know how much trash talk is going on up there in the races. Do you look over the guy and you just ain't got it? Go home.
The thing is, I only trash talk to Joe Snyder because we used to ride. We used to ride together at Colonial Downs, and I only used to trash talk to him because he's one of my best buddies.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Says, Treasure, you're one of the top riders in the country. Your talent and hard work shows. This from Blair Monroe again. Did you pay him?
What'd you say, that pay him?
Did you guys pay him?
Come on.
I'm just kidding. Of course, we joke. All right. We appreciate you guys coming on again. Obviously, you have far more important things to do than spend time with 2 jokers like Shawn and myself. Thank you for introducing Riley to the world. And of course, Trevor, you're a friend of the show, man. We want you to just light it up every day at the track.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. If you guys ever want to, please, don't be shy.
Well, this summer when you're riding at Saratoga, Shawn and I will be out there for that Saratoga fun.
There you go. Come hang out at Saratoga.
I definitely want to go. Never been,
right?
What's that?
You guys have been before?
Never been to Saratoga. No, I'm not like Terry. Terry's been to every track on the planet. I've been to like 4. Yeah, I'm like an OTB horse guy. I mean, the computer putting horse racing on the computer was like the worst thing ever.
Oh my God!
Let us know when you guys come.
Yeah, now
that's
Shawn,
my hometown.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, absolutely. We'll be there this summer for sure.
Shawn, you're at Delaware a lot, right?
Well, no, I've been to Delaware a handful of times. I'm basically in the middle of Penn National Parks in Delaware, so
Nice.
It's just been lately. I've been to Delaware just because Delaware is a nicer track than the other 2,
and he's afraid to fly anywhere, so that's why he just goes to Delaware.
And how about you, Rich? Where are you from?
I grew up in the Poconos. Well, I was all over. My dad was in the Navy, so I was like in 13 different schools by the time I was 8 years old.
Oh, wow.
And then lived in Chicago for a little while, then moved back out east and grew up in the Poconos, not too far where Shawn is. If you've ever driven on Interstate 80, where Interstate 80 comes out of Pennsylvania into New Jersey at the Turnpike right there at the Delaware Water Gap, that's where I grew up for most of my teenage years. We would skip school, go into New York City, get all sorts of trouble.
There you go. Yeah, I love the Poconos. We do a lot of skiing over there. Blue Mountain, Bear Mountain, Jack Frost. What is the other mountains? There's a bunch of Big Boulder, right?
Did you ever go to Camelback?
Camelback. I've never been to Camelback, but they all say it's the Camelback is a good mountain.
Yeah.
That's the one I used to go to because so when you go to I went to Pocono Mountain High School. So when you go to high school there, all the teenage kids, right? They work the lifts, they work the ticket lines, they work all the ski shops on the way up, right? So when you're driving up, so I never owned any skis. I never bought a ski pass. All my buddies and friends work somewhere. So I would get the latest ski gear. I would get the lift tickets for free, all that stuff, eat for free. So it was an awesome thing about growing up in the Poconos out in the woods and stuff like that. But I was a little bit nutty back then, and I hurt myself pretty good skiing. I had just started, I don't know, maybe like 6 months in. And well, the first time I ever went, but anyway, there's a Black Diamonds. You're familiar with the Black Diamonds, right? So there was one called Margie's. And my friends were like, oh, you're a good athlete, right? You wrestle, you play football, blah, 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 blah. And they're just totally feeding into my like ego, right? So they brought me up and they brought me to this Margie's. And when I came off, when you come off the ski lift and you come down, my skis were like this off of the mountainside. So they said, okay, go. And I went down and there were moguls literally the size of Volkswagens. And I'm just like, boom, 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 all the way down. And when I got back up at the bottom of the course, I mean, I literally bounced all the way down the course like a Super Bowl. And when we got down to the bottom, I stood up and all my friends were like, look, it's the abominable snowman. Ha, ha, ha. So that was my first trip down a mountain skiing.
That's awesome. That's a great story.
And Jay Barker says that explains a lot, Rich.
It does. I've been hitting the head a lot, Jay. It's just one of those things, man. All right. Again, thanks for joining us tonight, McCarthy's. You guys have a blessed blessed parenthood with Riley, and hopefully you have others as well.
Great. Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much.
You.
Have a great night.
See you too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Sleeping.
Accidentally kicked you out, Shawn. I don't know how accidental it was.
Yeah. But then you'd have to do the show by yourself. If you wanted to kick me out, you would just kick me out while Trevor and Katie were on and just kept going.
I would be okay. I think I can handle it myself, right? I always got some story to tell for sure, right? Speaking of stories to tell, Shawn, we always talk about these things, right? How these just like weird events happen in horse racing. This to me almost takes the cake, man. So this guy, this is in the Washington Post, right? This is like the trainer who was like with Jamie Navarro and all that kind of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm. Jorge Navarro, yeah. Sorry, Jamie. Yes, but so this guy Seth Fishman, he's from Dubai, and he handles like the prince's army of camels, and he's bringing home stuff, and he says it's for the camels, right? So, but what really makes me laugh in here, Shawn, there's an article, there's a piece in here. I don't know if you saw this in here, but it really makes me crack up, is that they wanted him to create a pill to give to the witnesses so they would forget everything they knew. Yeah, I did see that. Yes, I did. It is one long story. And he just puts the blame everywhere else pretty much but himself, of course.
He said the feds once helped him build a case against the CEO boss who Fishman claimed urged him to create a pill that would erase the memory of another planted witness. I mean, these things really got to be in the movies, man.
Yeah. And if I read it right, too, he's got like stage 3 cancer. So he's kind of just, letting everything out there.
Oh, my God. Is it funny? I mean, you just read this stuff. And there was even some other stuff in here in that story that just made me kind of laugh, too. But that just makes me really crack up that the idea that you can make a pill like in the movie Men in Black, right? You're not going to get this. Anyway, enough of that. So
those are the pills that if I ever did the TikTok dancing, those are the pills I'd have to give people so they could unsee that.
I feel like that, hitting my head on the ground a few times has kind of caused that stuff. So Pennsylvania, if you've ever wanted to see a horse being born, Shawn, I thought this was kind of really cool. Over on the Pollock Report, they have a link to a story. Pennsylvania Horse Racing Association offers educational foal watch program. I guess something like 34 horses or something, mares that are ready to have babies.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess if you sign up for it, there's even a link here. You'll see when the baby's born. I've never seen a baby horse be born. I think that would kind of be an interesting thing for like a biology class in school, or if you have a son or daughter or a family member that wants to be a veterinarian, kind of a good thing to watch.
Yeah, and I haven't seen it, but I've seen like right after. I mean, they come out, they walk right away and everything. I mean, it's crazy. One of those things that's hard though, because you could watch that all the time, and as soon as you're not watching, it's when the horse will be born and you'll miss the whole thing.
It's kind of like when you go to the science museum and they have the eggs and the chickens are being born, and when you look, all the eggs are solid. You turn your head away and there's 30 of them running around. You're like, what happened?
Yep,
for sure. So off to the fairgrounds, Shawn, where they're talking about racing a little bit less because they're not able to fill up the track space there or the stalls, I guess, at fairgrounds, which we'll talk a little bit to Aubrey Green about that tomorrow. She's our guest on the Players Edge podcast at 9:30 Eastern here on Horse Racing Radar TV on YouTube. Shawn, if you like what you saw tonight, like so many others have already this evening, like Joseph Schneider, Christine McCarthy, Lisa Ann, Marie Davidovich, Nathan Mantok, and Jay Marco, give us a thumbs up. Show us some love. We'd appreciate that on YouTube, Facebook, and on Twitter. But in any case, do you think maybe – I think about Chicago. We have like one racetrack now, Hawthorne, right? Mm-hmm. Louisiana, kind of a smaller state, less population than Chicago, has 4 tracks. So maybe they should consolidate or maybe make sure that none of the tracks are overlapping the others.
They could do that, but the problem with that is what we talk about all the time: less tracks, less jobs, and everything else. So that's the issue with that. And they bring up in the article too about possibly cutting the days and making the fields bigger. And I don't know which way is better there too. Do you do 3 days of racing with bigger fields, or do you do 4 days of racing and have some smaller fields? I never know which way. I don't even know as a better which way I want to do. I know that. Like if I make a trip to Penn National and they have 8 races on the card, it's kind of disappointing. I'd rather have 9, but then you go with 9 and you get 5 or 6 horse fields and you're kind of disappointed with that. So I don't know which one's better.
I think from a betting standpoint, Shawn, at least for me, the bigger the fields, I think are better. Because the money gets more spread out. You have a better chance of getting a nice ticket. And also, I mean, horse racing is, it's like poker, man. It's not you against the house, although the house is taking its cut, right? It's you against the other handicapper. So the more horses there are in the field, the more chances you have to be right relative to everybody else.
Correct.
Right. So that's really where your handicapping skills, if there's a 5-horse field, Shawn, and I mean, it's a lot easier to handicap. It doesn't always work out the way you want it to work out. Like you said, the gate opens and God knows what you thought was going to happen is upside down by the time they hit the quarter pole. But 5-horse fields are a lot easier to handicap. What about the story about exercise riders having certifications? I didn't see that yet. So can you send us the link to that, or did you see that, Shawn?
I did see that earlier. I didn't get a chance to read it, but I did see it on social media. It's something that we could definitely talk about Monday or something like that.
Yeah, maybe we can bring somebody on who would know a little bit about it, right?
Yeah.
That would be a good idea.
Well, Jay Marco is an exercise rider, so.
I know, that was a hint, Shawn. It's called a hint, Shawn. Jay,
hey, I didn't know if you hit your head.
Know.
I didn't know if you hit your head when you were younger,
Many times,
you did.
Shawn. Many times. Skiing, I went down the hills, boom, 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 like that. It was crazy. So he says he was, but you would still know about it. Anyway, so over on horseracingtoday.net, we got a couple of things up in the last 24 hours that are pretty good. We have Racing on the Brink, the movie. It's coming out in sometime next year, Shawn, right? So it's a hell of an advance notice coming on here. But it's going to study like the backside and all of the stuff that goes into horse racing. So if you're on the backside, they're looking for folks that actually want to be in the movie. So if you ever had dreams of being a movie star and you love horse racing, here's your chance to put 1 and 1 together and make yourself a star. So if you head on over to horseracingtoday.net, you'll see the article. I know, Shawn, you linked to it on Facebook and Twitter, right?
Correct. Yep, that was up this morning. So it's there as well.
I think in about I don't know which paragraph, there it is. It's in the second to last paragraph. It says, if you're interested, you can reach out to @RacingOnTheBrink. I guess that's on Facebook, right?
Yeah, on Facebook, correct.
So if you work on the backside and you want to tell your story, good or bad, right? Because they're going to show it. They're going to show the real they're going to keep it real as the kids used to say.
Yeah, and this is a good show to watch. Like you said yesterday, I don't know what word you used, but I'm naive to it too. Like I hear about it, but I couldn't tell you all the stuff that goes on. I'm thankful for all the people, and I know they put in a lot of hard work, and I'd love to know more about it. So watching stuff like that, maybe, getting to the track more and seeing that kind of stuff definitely would be even a greater appreciation than what we already have.
And somebody might be seeing a little bit more of here at Horse Racing. We got too many names, Shawn. HorseRacingToday.net, Horse Racing Radar TV, @Horse Race Today on the social sites. Maddy Olver, who works in horse racing, she put up a good defense of horse racing, a little bit of opinion piece, talks about her insights about the blood, sweat, and tears that people put into for the love of their jobs, for the love of the horses, and exactly how much horse racing means to them, to to their families and for their opportunities both here and for those who travel from other countries like Puerto Rico, Mexico, Venezuela, Chile, France, wherever they're coming from, just how much horse racing means to these families, right? And how much
the horses mean as well.
The business, the horses in the business, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the horses are the business, as they say.
Yeah, and horse racing takes a lot of criticism for what other people think, happens to the horses, and it's the opposite. Horses, plenty of people in the business, they know they make the money because of the horses, so they treat the horses like royalty. They love the horses; they're around them all the time, and Jay can speak to that.
I mean, I have a dog, right? It's a dog, right? But on the food chain, I mean, the dog depends on you for everything, looks up to you. And I know horses are a little bit different because we had on Chantel and was talking about the horse that she was riding is mean and double kicks everybody. And they all have different personalities and stuff like that. But when you're around an animal like that, they're completely dependent on you. And you just have that feeling that you want to take care of them, right? For sure. I wouldn't let anybody do a damn thing to my dog.
The funny thing about that Chantel story about the horse, I've heard of horses being mean. I've heard of horses not being friendly, but I've never heard a horse being described exactly as ugly as that horse apparently was, to want to, in her words, kill another horse, possibly, bite the horse, like really.
Well, we saw that with Ferenzi Fire in the middle of the race.
She was really concerned about getting near any other horse, and you could see how the horse acted when the other horse went to the outside of it. So that's crazy.
Absolutely crazy for sure, Shawn. So what's crazy is we don't have an ending to the show, Shawn. So Jay Marco says you got a lot of stories about angry, mean horses. I'm sure. Maybe you should write a book about them. Some good, funny stuff in there. All right, Shawn. Well, that's the end of today's show. Tomorrow, as we mentioned, we're going to have on Aubrey Green from Fairgrounds. We're going to discuss her mount in race number 1, and then we're going to talk about the last 2 big races on the card at Fairgrounds on Saturday afternoon. That's at 9:30 here at Racing Radar TV on YouTube. Shawn will let us know all about it beforehand on Facebook, Twitter at Horse Race Today. Both handles there. I don't know what our Instagram handle is. I got to add that to the bottom, but I'm still waiting. Jay, what do you think, Jay? Shawn in a TikTok video juggling chainsaws to promote horse racing radar.
Well, the Instagram is at Horse Race Today with the number 2 as well. I tried to keep that consistent. And then there'll also be a Q&A on the website tomorrow too, to get to know more about Aubrey Green too. So that will be on social media as well.
So make sure you check that. I was thinking about going with, do you remember? Okay, so one of 2 things here. Shawn's got a little bit of a John Belushi look to him. So I was trying to find some John Belushi like thing that Shawn could use. But I was also thinking about like the, in the Looney Tunes where that's all, folks. So something along those lines. So if you can find a good Jim Belushi thing, that's what I want to go with.
Okay. And also to mention, we did not get to 800 subscribers. If we get to that tomorrow, we can give that away tomorrow on the Players Edge podcast.
The Mike Smith signed.
Yes. Justified Kentucky Derby picture. Yes.
All right. Well, we might be there after the show. All right, Shawn, it's been fun. Been a fun hump day night. Great interview with Trevor and Katie McCarthy. Appreciate that. I get a kick day out of day about stories the things that happen in horse racing, like people trying to create pills to erase memories. But it is the love of the sport, Shawn. And as always, we hope that everybody has a fantastic night. All right, Shawn, close the show.
That's all, pokes, is what you said. So that's all, pokes.
All right, folks. That's all, folks. Have a great evening. We'll see you all tomorrow night.